So the moment everybody's been waiting for is here. IK Multimedia has dropped the 1.8 software update for Tonex, which also has the new firmware for Tonex Pedal and Tonex One integrated into that. I've done a lot of videos about this so far leading up to this, but today I wanted to show you a few of the things that I haven't talked about in the past and address some of the questions that I've been getting from a lot of folks about this. So let's head over to Tonex, to the pedal, and see exactly what is new beyond what I've already spoken about. All right, so first things first, a lot of folks have been asking me after my MIDI video yesterday about how MIDI is going to be implemented in this update. They're telling me that if they go to IK Product Manager, the manual hasn't been updated, and that seems to be true at the time that I am shooting this video, but I have figured something out. If we go to the IK Multimedia website, go up and log into your account, head over to My Products, navigate to find Tonex Pedal and download resources. If we click that, we get this page pop up. And it still says the Tonex Pedal user manual isn't updated, but actually, if we download this from there, you will notice that we have BPM set up. And if we go down to all the MIDI numbers, we notice that we have all of the new MIDI info that I was showing in the video yesterday. So anybody who does want to get up and running with this, there seems to be just something overlooked in IK Product Manager. And I'll probably give the folks at IK a message and just tell them that the new manual isn't actually showing up so they can get that sorted out. But it is available. Just go to IK's own website to get it as of this moment. And hopefully in the very near future, you'll be able to grab that right through IK Product Manager. Just going over the things that I don't know if I touched on in previous videos, but one little feature some folks might really enjoy is that the noise gate can now be put first or post amp. So it can be before pre the amp or first in the chain, right? Even if we have other things such as modulation, compression, delay before, we can put that noise gate after the amp. So this is just a personal preference thing. If you like it first, great. You can leave it there. If you like it after, then you can put it there as well. So that's a great little feature. Now heading on over to the pedal, I wanted to talk about tap tempo. I've covered this in a previous video, but it's a question I get the most. So we head over to global settings and we'll go to tuner. We want to put this in through mode just so that it doesn't mute when we engage the tuner, because that's where the tap tempo is going to be. Now, obviously, tap tempo will still work even if we have this set to mute. But the reason is if we back out of this, now whatever preset we're on, if I long hold that, we head into tuner mode. Now, because I set this to through, I still get sound coming out of my pedal, even though I am in tuner mode. But you'll notice the flashing light here. This will allow me to tap tempo for time-based effects, and we get the BPM readout up on the screen. If we want to get back out of that, we can just press our foot switch that has our tone model on it. So we can do tap tempo right on the unit itself, or we can use an external controller, or we can use MIDI. And for those about to ask, tap tempo is also on Tonex One. Simply press and hold to go into tuner tap mode. You'll see that your little Alt button is flashing, and as I tap that, we get different tempos in there. So Tonex One does get the tap tempo also. Now, one other thing that we're going to notice is different is when we head into our global settings, we're going to see a very different layout. Now, I like the way it's laid out now. We have a menu we get right away with the BPM setup, which allows us to go in and manually set the actual tempo. We can set BPM mode, whether it's going to be set globally or per preset. The next menu when we're into globals is preset setup, which is going to allow us to set up whether external control is on or off. A lot of this is going to be very similar to how we had it before, just in different places. We can have the amp active, cab active. Keep scrolling, we're going to get down to global setup. And now what's interesting about this, we go right into submenus of global setup. We have volume. So right away when we get to global setup and we click that, we go to volume, we click it again, we have our trim input that we can set right there. And as usual, I tell folks just to leave that at a lower setting so that all the functions of the pedal work, and then we can simply use our gain control per preset. It's going to do the exact same thing as the trim in. Main volume is in here, and also interface volume. If we keep going, we have external control type of external foot switch that we're going to use. how we want our single switch set, macro, tap, tempo, or tuner, and how we're going to maybe have our dual switch set up, expression calibration. Again, a lot of this is stuff that was already in there. And then as we keep going down through global settings, we get a MIDI menu, which I talked about yesterday. We have the MIDI channel we're on. We have what MIDI through is going to do. And we have the clock mode. So this is going to be how we're going to set up Tonex to deal with MIDI clock so that we can actually have tap tempo via MIDI, as I showed in my video yesterday. And as we go down, we then have tuner, which I was just showing a few moments ago. We can have that set to mute, through, or off. And we have the A reference frequency as well. And as we keep going, we have general global settings as well. When we go in here, we have the naming convention. We have switch to be either set to release or press, all stuff we had before, whether we want cabs active globally or not. We have the user mode. Now, this is going to be interesting. User mode is going to be important. If you're set to easy, you're going to see limited parameters on your Tonex pedal that you're going to be able to tweak. So we want to make sure we have that set to advanced. Now, this is interesting. We have bypass mode. And what this actually is if I say that bypass mode is disabled, that means that I'm not going to be able to actually hit the same switch where my tone model is on and turn it on and off anymore. Now, if that is enabled, I can still bypass that. So I know this was a request from a lot of folks who didn't really ever need to bypass their pedal. They just want it left on. So if that's the case, we head into global settings, general, bypass mode, and we can disable that so that the tone model preset is always on. Very handy. Operation, live, or interface. USB out, dual, stereo, stuff we've always had, info, and factory reset. So that is the new global settings menu. Now, since I did go in here a moment ago and tell you that we can go down here, set user mode to advanced. Once we've done that, a huge question I have is, can we control all the new delay parameters and all the new modulation effects right on the pedal itself? And of course we can. We can simply come to our parameter button and press this once. And as we scroll through here, we're going to see everything that we can adjust right on the pedal. So we can come to the modulation. We can decide whether that's going to be on or off. We can come to the type, choose which type we want. We can come to the position of it, post or preamp. We can turn sync on or off, and then we can have the note value we want to use for the tempo that we've chosen via tap tempo. So we have all of the different controls in here. I can click this again, go to delay. Again, turn the power on or off on the delay, change the type. And again, we can just press and hold up here to save any of those changes. And this is just a tone from my new Filmo 25 Ultimate Collection that's based off of my Boogie Filmore 25 amp. The link is below if you're so inclined and want to check these tone models out. All right, there you have it. I hope that that was helpful and covers a lot of the questions that I've been getting. And I hope that this video has at least a little bit of information that can help you get up and running with the new software and firmware. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like any of the tones you heard from my Filmo 25 Ultimate and DI collection, the link is below to that. That's a new collection I have on my site based on my incredible Boogie Filmore 25 amplifier. Really enjoying those tones, and those are available below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it, and also please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. I hope you enjoy the music on the way out, and as I mentioned, the links are below if you want to grab a copy of these tone models. Ciao for now.